Needs better brakes though. Definitely needs better brakes. Even with the new brake pads in, there's just not enough feel. Oh, look at this. Oh my god, this thing is an absolute fucking beast. Well, hello people, how are we doing? Oh man, look at this weather. The weather today has just been phenomenal. I'm not doing the motorway today because it's just the weather is too good for that. You know, I've got to have a bit of a play about. I mean, just look at it. This is spring in its finest for me. I absolutely love spring. You know, summer can get a bit too much for me because of the heat, and then obviously winter is just depressing. But the you know, autumn and spring for me are the two. You know that, mate. You're letting every biker know that. There's a copper back there sitting waiting for people, so sneaky little fuckers. Oh, it's got a bit of two-pack going. Yeah, boy. This guy in front's like, what the fuck? Oh my god, this thing is just absolutely beautiful. Hello, mate. It's nice to see bikers out as well, you know. All the fair weather dickheads have come back out again. So that brings me on to the topic for today, right? So what is this fucking video about? So, I went out and bought a comfort seat for this bike, which cost, you know, a lot of money. It wasn't cheap, put it that way. The stock seat, you know, there's a lot of people online that were telling me that, you know, they know that I've got back problems and I've had comfort issues before on bikes and all sorts, and a few of them reached out to me and said, look, you might want to be aware that the stock seat on the MT10 it's not very good. It's quite painful even for those guys that don't have any issues. So thank you to everybody that did warn me about the seat on this thing, and I have to say you were completely right. The stock seat on this motherfucking thing is absolutely appalling. Not just for me but for my missus as well. So I had the missus on the back a few times and a couple of times on the stock seat, and for her it was killing her. It was smashing up her fucking pubic bone. It was killing her pussy after a while. So I ended up just going all out and getting the comfort seat, and it was a lot of money. However, I did get a really good deal actually. It should be about 300 and something quid, but I managed to get one for 250. And when it comes to comfort seats, I am very skeptical, because usually with the comfort seats you buy them and they're not very good. The KTM one wasn't very good, and the KTM one for my Triumph, which wasn't very good. I've had them a lot in the past and they're just not worth the money. Oh, that was a bit of a close one, pal. Jesus. Now I've got an Audi R8 behind me. He's playing along. So I ended up, long story short, I ended up getting this thing for a pretty good deal for the prices what they should be. Still a lot of money though, you know what I mean? Oh fuck, I forgot about that cunt. Jesus Christ. Every fucking time, if you look back at my videos, that bump gets me every fucking time. What do I think of it? So the installation was, it's a seat. I was going to video all that shit, but I thought, you know what, no one wants to see someone just put a seat on. It really isn't that difficult. Oh, it's fun. Mr. R8 behind us is coming up. He's having a bit of fun. Hiya, mate. Pigeon. So, what do I think of it? So I've given it, I've had it for about a week now. Yeah, both me and the missus have been on the back of it, and at first I was very skeptical, because I started to get quite a bit of pain. What the fuck is that? Is that a mic? Is that a micro light? I think that's a micro light. Hello. Cool. Yes, I initially got it and I wasn't really that impressed, to be fair with you. I was getting a bit of pain and all that, but that was only after a little bit of a ride. Now I've actually given it, you know, a good test. I'm actually fairly surprised at how much it helps me out. Now a lot of these things with the comfort seats and the changing of rear sets and all that kind of stuff, that they can only do so much. My body is ruined at this point. You know, I've got a long way to go with getting myself back recovered to a competent human state, you know, but we will get there at some point. However, I'm actually very surprised with the seat, because at first it was pretty hard, and obviously with this, whatever seat you get, you need to break it in, you know, and I gave this stock one a fair chance. It just wasn't good enough. It really wasn't. But I've given this a fair go now, and I've let it break in, and I've given it a good few hundred mile at this point, and I can say actually it does help me out quite a bit. Now, like I said, it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be, you know, fixing my problems, because the problems are there. You can only help or mask them in a way. And my knee is a big problem as well. And being in the same place for a long time with my knee, it affects it. You know, the temperature and stuff, my diet, how inflamed I am, all that kind of stuff does affect it as well. So this seat, I mean, I've been riding now for about, I don't know, about 40 minutes, something like that. And within 20 minutes on this thing, I was starting to get really bad pain. Basically, I've got a fucked up spine essentially. I've got one of my discs is all messed up, which subsequently then pushes on my sciatic nerve and gives me quite bad very bad sciatica at times. I mean, agonising pain. But one of the things is that this bike, for some reason, it was a lot more uncomfortable in terms of positioning and seating than my Super Duke, which was very weird. That Super Duke was very comfortable. I honestly really was comfy. But for this, for some reason, the angle seems to be a little bit different on my knee, and it crunches it up a bit more, and it really triggers my knee pain. I don't know why. I might have to get some rear sets at some point. And I don't know whether because it's more upright. Sounds a bit silly because you're not as much over the bike. Your legs aren't as far forward, and it's got to do with my hips as well. So my hip placement, my knee placement, and the angle of the hip to the knee to the ankle. Also the shift lever, because on a more sporty position, sounds a bit counterintuitive, but the more upright I am, the more bent my hips are. So my hips are up, and then the angle is more acute down from my knee to my ankle. Whereas on a sportier bike or a more forward bike, it kind of tilts you forward a bit, so that angle isn't as acute, and you can slip your foot down into the shifter. So the issue for me is where my feet are located, and the action of the shifter, where I have to slot my foot down into underneath the peg to underneath the peg to shift up. That's the issue for me. Now, also with this bike, I haven't had the suspension set up. It's fairly good from out of the box. It's a little bit stiff. Oh, hello? Hello? Oh, I'm doing a hello? Yes, hello? Yeah, I'm doing a video. But alright, see you in a bit. Bye. That was a bit weird. For some reason, the one was calling me, and the card automatically picked up, and that was a bit weird. My mum called me. I was like, what? Hello? So you're talking to? Like myself? I'm going insane. Anyway, I don't know where I was. But the issue is I've got quite a lot of pain in my knees, essentially. My knee ball joint, there's ligaments in there that are fucked. And so with me having to get my feet underneath, my ankle underneath the peg, sometimes it pushes your knee down, the tendon in your knee, it goes across your shin, essentially, and that pulls down, and that aggravates it if on repeated actions of that. So basically the position is the main thing that hurts me on bikes. Now, this comfort seat, what happens is, because my sciatic nerve is where my bum is, it really helps cushion, because the cushioning on the stock seat for a normal person, I'm sure, would be fine. Although I've heard a lot of people talk about how uncomfortable it is. So basically, what that pushes on my sciatic nerve through my bum, and I've got to basically be very. It really fucks it up, and it really hurts, and it seizes my knee up, it seizes my hips up. Now, I've been riding this for maybe 55 minutes, something like that, whilst I've been talking, and I can feel it in my hip, down my thigh, and in my knee, especially when I'm shifting, going that kind of stuff. And if I stand up and get some pressure off my knees, it really hurts my knee. But that's just the tendency of my particular injury. But saying that, sitting on this thing for an extended period of time without getting off it, it is significantly and noticeably better than the stock seat. The stock seat is absolute tripe on this bike, and I recommend everyone go and do it. Hello, mate. I recommend everybody change it if you can, and just try one of these out. If your mate's got one, swap it over, give it a go, make sure it's all bedded in, because there is an initial bedding period for this, it seems. Now, another one of the things that could be causing my problems is the suspension and the tyre pressures. Now, I don't know if you watched my videos before. If you've not, hello, welcome, love you all. I really like a lower tyre pressure than the standard. Oh, I see my knee there, stretching it out. It hurts quite badly, but it's nowhere near as bad as it would be. I would be in agony right now if it wasn't for this seat. The standard tyre pressures of 36-42, absolute trite, but they have to tell you that they have to do that for health and safety and lawsuits, all that bullshit. They have to give you a recommended tyre pressure. Now, what a lot of companies are doing, the old standard of 36-42 is with a pillion, and it's about personal preference. It's about what you like the feel of. I don't like the feel of a hard tyre. I hate it. Like a really hard tyre pressure, because it doesn't work with your suspension. It struggles with your suspension, and it makes everything feel taut and juddery and horrible. Now, if you get your suspension set up, that's great for your weight. You can tinker about with the hydraulics to what suits you. I've actually taken 3 clicks out of these forks at the front, and it's made it so much better at the front on this bike. When I first got it, it was so stiff. It was so stiff, it was horrible. So I took 3 clicks out each leg, and it has made it feel a million times better. So tyre pressures make a massive difference, and also suspension setup as well. Now, the tyre pressure at the rear is 42 because because I'm taking my missus out on the thing, and I don't want to be changing tyre pressures every 5 seconds. But what I will do when things have calmed down slightly, and I don't, we're not going out in the foreseeable future, I will take the tyre pressures down to, I usually run 34 even, 34 in the front, 34 in the back, and we'll see how that feels like, if that eases it up, because the rear, smack, very juddery. That's your back going up and down, and your suspension, all that kind of shit. So I'd see the tyre pressure first, because that's free, and then I'll start tinkering with the suspension, and then working that one out. Now, like I said, this comfort seat is cracking. It is really good. I can imagine for somebody, hello mate, for somebody that just wants a comfortable ride, and they can ride for hours and not have any pain, this will be an absolute dream for you. It's paid for itself for me already. Like I said, I have pain, and that's not going to disappear anytime soon. So if this can ease it up a bit and let me ride half an hour more or whatever, then I will take that every single day, and it's paid for itself at that point. I absolutely love it. Right, so hopefully that answers your questions. I really like this seat. It's very comfortable. It also looks great. It looks really nice as well, and the material, the seats, the stitching, all that shit, it's very, oh god, my balls, hello, it's very, very nice. You definitely get a decent quality. It's got Alcantara mixed in, and it's very comfortable for a pillion as well. The pillion, if you look at the pillion versus the stock seat has about, I don't know, 2-3 mil on the back, and the pillion seat at the rear is a big chunk of real big chunk of foam at the back there. So again, hopefully I'll get a bit more of a, because the pillion needs to be broken in a bit more. I'll get a better review from the missus and let you guys know what she thinks about it. But for now, I think it was a bit, she noticed it being better, which is good. One thing to also note is that it changes the seat height to, I think, 835 mil or 840 mil. Now, I could flat foot this. I'm 5'11 ish, about 6 foot with the boots on, and I could flat foot this bike pretty much very comfortably. To be fair, the Super Duke I could not flat foot that thing. It was a very tall bike, that Super Duke. This bike I could flat foot it, and now I can't. Depending on the boots that I wear, if I've got big heel blocks, I can get both, I can say about 3/4 of my feet down on both sides, and if I stretch I can get my feet down, but that's not comfortable. I was a bit worried about getting a pillion on, because I like having my feet on the floor. That was not a problem, that was absolutely fine. But that's something to be aware of if you're a shorter rider, that this will increase your seat height if you're already struggling with that. Right, anyway, that's me, boys and girls. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope I answered the question, and I hope you let me know what you think of your comfort seat if you've got one. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you very, very soon, I'm sure. And until the next time, boys and girls, sort them out. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, and enjoy this fucking weather. Ta-ra.